Hey guys, welcome to In the Mix. I am Brianna Hansen. I'm joined by Jea Street Jr. today. September's episode of basically What's in Wilm. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. It's
Good.
a nice day.
It's a good day to be feeling good.
It's cool.
We've got a great lineup of guests with us. I'm going to quickly go down the line. Michael Allen, Brandywine Zoo, the lovely Michelle Kramer-Fitzgerald, Arts and Media, Amy Watson-Bish, the grand and self-made pie lady.
Hi, lady.
Christian Wills, man of many titles.
Yes.
Which one would you like to be today?
I'm the one-man band.
One-man band. I like
Awesome.
it. All right, I like it. So what's going on, guys? Where do we want to start? It's a busy month. It's like Arts Month. It's September.
Arts season
Everything
is starting.
Kicks
Oh,
into
yeah.
high gear. Y'all are coming back from the beach finally.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. You've been at the beach an awful lot
Struts.
this summer.
Yeah. That's good. I was at the beach a lot.
I just got back from the wave pool.
Oh,
Busch
nice.
Gardens.
Where's
Yeah.
our wave pool?
Oh, Busch Gardens.
He drove all the way back from
Yeah.
Busch Gardens
Wow,
to
to
be
be here
To
today?
be here today. Yeah.
He rode all the roller coasters.
One after the other.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to, if you go to an amusement park, you can't not do that.
I guess.
I don't do that.
You don't do that? You're not a roller
I'm not a
coaster?
roller
I had to make
You're not a
sure.
roller coaster person?
I'm not.
Do you go to amusement parks at all?
Do you at least?
No.
I question it only because, like, if I'm not gonna go to a roller coaster, I'd be no fun to go to the amusement park. I'm the person who would hold all the stuff.
Hold my stuff. I'm
you're
gonna go.
Or I would go on like the
Yeah.
water ride.
Okay.
Like the lazy river. Will you do
Yeah.
that?
Lazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't do drops. It's just
I think the last thing I went on was the laser loop in Pittsburgh, and that was like 30 years ago.
I curse a lot on the roller coaster. So that's why
I'm going to be on the roller coaster
Yes.
with my phone out recording the whole ride with you.
Amy, you ready?
No, she could say those things.
What's
Yeah.
the scariest roller coaster you've ever pushed yourself to do?
It's been like probably 30 years since I've been on roller coaster. It was probably a great adventure. Although when I was in Disney World 2 years ago, I went on the Snow White like crazy ride, and like that was a little much for me.
We're going over the mountains with the dwarves, I'm sure.
I cursed in
Yeah.
another language because my child was on the ride with me.
What language?
German.
What was
Scheisse? Can we say that? Can we say that?
Bleep that out later. Get out if we can.
It's a good choice.
We're teaching you everything here at the end show.
Yeah, we beat the system.
Multilingual. Oh man, all the things.
On that note, I'm gonna make you start now. You're starting us off with such great conversation. So your primary job at the Grand is to promote the Broadway series at all the things going on at the Playhouse.
things.
But you know, your anchors being the Broadway series. Tell us a little bit more about what you've got going
We've got
on this year.
a great season this year. We're opening up with Beautiful, the Carole King musical. So it's just a great show. And then we've got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the family, Illusionist, the magic show for families, and we have Jersey Boys coming back, which was a sellout last time, and then we've got this amazing comedy called The Play That Goes Wrong. I saw it in New York a couple years ago, and it's hysterical. It's not a musical, but it's hysterical. It's like if you like Monty Python, you're gonna like this show.
Okay.
And then we've got The Color Purple and Fiddler on the Roof. You know,
Wow,
just a couple of
that's a really good
classics.
season.
Yeah.
And you also have a new speaker series.
We
Is that
do. We
correct?
have. We just launched it. Tickets are on sale now. It's called Vibrant Voices, and later this month we're going to have General Stanley McChrystal opening this series,
cool.
Yeah.
and then later on we'll have John Quinones from What Would You Do, if you remember that show on
Yeah.
ABC, I think it is. Yeah, and then we've got Abby Wambach, U.S. Olympian soccer superstar, and then we close out with George Takei.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
tickets sold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sell out.
Yeah, so it's a new series, so we're excited about it. We're going to have it like every year. It's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where can people go to find out more
They
about
can
that?
go to, for all of our shows, they can go to the Grand Wilmington wait.
Roller coaster flashback. I don't know where I am.
Wilmington D. Cut that part.
The grandwilmington.org.
There you go. We got there. And there's a lot of really good shows coming up. The Grand, the Baby Grand. You've been packing the Baby Grand full of comedy lately, and I love
We've
that.
got John Papa coming back. That one did really well for us, and he's coming back, so that'll be hysterical. We got a bunch of like smaller comedians. And then as far as on our big stage, we got George Thorogood, DE's son, Delaware's son, coming back.
And that's October 1st, I think.
Sure.
Sometime in the very beginning of
I
October.
have like 60 shows in my head, so it's hard.
I know.
But it is coming. Yeah, it's October, and then we also have Dawes that same week. They're coming back. Yeah.
I went to the last Doll show at the Grand. It was awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to the next.
Yeah.
Do you see like a comedy as something that's growing and becoming more popular right now? Like,
I think it's always been popular. I don't think it's anything that people like didn't like and are now like. I think we've always had comedy at the Grand. I think a lot of people might not think of coming to us to see stuff, but I know we've got a new comedy club coming
that's why I
downtown,
asked.
and I know people were like, "Oh, there's no comedy," and I'm like, "There's always comedy."
I've seen
Except
yeah,
for
like
Yeah.
ads for comedy
That's right.
before,
Well, and-
outside the Grand.
And the Grand and the Playhouse have always done a great job of bringing larger acts, but in the last few years, I think that the grassroots scene has really blown up. Not that we haven't
Okay.
always had local comics, but now it's like
with
2,
the
3.
Space Boy
Right.
was a venue.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Sarah
Oh,
Bernhardt
yeah.
Salon.
Yes, I was actually going to use that as the perfect segue into talking about Fearless Improv. There's a lot of stand-up comedy, a lot of open mics, a lot of curated nights. Wilmington Brew Works, Bootless Stage Works, Argila. I know I'm getting into the like Newark line there, but they're popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
That Jackson Inn does one
the Jackson
weekly.
Inn has a
What is that about? I
I
wonder
think
why
people
now.
are just looking
I
at
think it's
venues like, restaurants aren't just for eating. Brew pubs
Yeah.
aren't just for drinking. They're like, you can do this other
Yeah.
small
It becomes
stuff in
more
there.
of an
It's like a
experience.
dinner and a show.
But and there's a ton of stand-up, but there isn't a ton of improv,
right.
which is why we have Fearless Improv.
That's right. Wilmington's only improv team. Improv team, not troupe. They hate the word troupe.
Why do they hate the word
You know
troupe?
what?
I don't.
about
It doesn't sound. It's not the professional language for an improv group.
Oh,
You say improv team or improv group.
So is that like offensive? Or?
Yeah, I guess.
to them, highly offended.
Never it's like Robin Hood or
Never,
something.
yeah, never.
Never inviting you over for dinner again.
Sarah, yeah.
I saw your troop. I didn't know. No,
It's like F troop, like it's a dumb. I don't know what it means.
Scouts or something.
Right,
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
I think it sounds kind of badass. I personally prefer the term over
Jana, it sounds badass.
team.
Just saying.
Okay,
So it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
But no, the
in
improv
German.
team, the only Wilmington improv team is Fearless Improv, which is a production of City Theater Company, and they perform at the Sarah Bernhardt Salon at the Grand, which is cool because it's not a normal quote-unquote venue for comedy or anything like that, but they pack the house there. They tripled their audience.
We were sold out.
Yes.
Really?
sold out, yeah.
We had to turn people away.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's so cool, and they're so funny. They do, improv is so hard to do.
And it's meant for a space like that. It's meant to be
Yeah.
intimate.
It's meant to be
and You're meant to be a part of it.
And
so.
yeah, they do a great job, and their team is huge. They have like 12 people on their team now, so they switch, off doing shows, and they're going to do a series of 6 shows at the Sarah Bernhardt starting September 14th at 8 p.m. You can get your tickets at thegrandwilmington.org. And yeah, they start September 14th. So I'm excited to have them back there. I think the Grand has, like Amy said, the Grand has become this space for comedy, which is cool. So it's nice to have Fearless Improv there. And then looking way ahead in May, they're going to have the Tax-Free Comedy Festival come back to the Grand as well.
Nice.
So
Which is when they bring all sorts of comedy.
everybody, like East
Under
Coast.
one
There
roof.
was somebody from California that came last year to the Tax-Free
Oh,
Comedy
wow.
Festival to perform. Yeah, a stand-up from California.
Is it a mix of like stand-up?
It's stand-up, musical comedy,
Okay.
improv. What else is there?
I don't know. They make up some form
All
of
those
comedy. I'm
things.
sure.
Sketch.
Sketch stuff, whatever's funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah.
And it is funny that I've been to, I mean, at this point, probably countless Fearless shows, and it's always different.
You're a regular.
I love you guys. What can I say? How many? Did you say how many members are on the team?
12.
12.
That's
Yeah.
big.
It's a big.
And that's a lot to
team.
coordinate,
And they're mostly women,
That's awesome.
Cool.
which debunks the theory that women aren't funny.
They really
Or
have.
hilarious.
Is that a theory?
That's
I didn't know that was a theory.
Yeah.
Well, not. Hopefully, you don't think that, but
I don't.
some people think that women aren't funny. So.
So they've
but
never
yeah.
heard of Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
No.
Right.
No, they're not
Yeah.
funny.
Idiots. No. Yeah, but most of the team is women. Are women.
And you bring a lot of funny females through.
We do. We
the
actually
Grand as
have
well.
a fabulously funny females comedy night, usually once a year. And then yeah, we've got a bunch of we've had Amy Schumer in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You got her right when she was like blown
I know,
up, too.
right when her TV show is like kicking off.
We're really privileged in Wilmington to be able to catch acts like
Right before
up and
they-
coming
yeah,
acts
yeah.
right before they really break. And I mean, even if we're going to talk statewide, having venues like the Bottle and Cork, which we were talking about earlier, where you really get to be
I think
right
that's
in
the
front
last
of
time we're going to see some bands at the Bottle and Cork because they're just getting so big.
Yeah.
But that's a great space to see live bands. Love
We're
it.
lucky.
We're so lucky.
We're so lucky. All right, I have no idea how long I've been rambling, but it's probably long enough to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Welcome back to In the Mix. I'm Jea Street Jr. here with Brianna, and let's get this party started back up again, right?
I want to sing that.
I want to talk about pies. Are we allowed to do that?
We can talk about
I
pies.
keep throwing stuff at you. I'm sorry, between the roller coaster, but you said pies earlier.
It's time
and
for pies.
Yeah.
What's up with the pies? I don't know anything about the pies. I just
You
love
know nothing
pies.
about the pies?
No, that's what I'm saying. Inform me and America about your pies.
He doesn't know the pies either.
Right, right.
I want to know about the pies. I don't know anything.
This is your time now, Amy, to shine.
Sorry.
I make pies.
Where?
No, you make amazing.
Amazing pies. Award-winning pies.
Yeah, so like I entered the state fair last year and this year, and I've like won a few awards.
For like define a
For
few,
what?
please.
Yeah,
Define
come
a
on.
few.
So out of 9 categories last year, I got 5 first place, and then like best in show, and then this year I got 4 first place and best in category. So
Is it the same thing?
No, it's different. Best in show is like best of
ever.
all of the foods.
Of all time.
This was like just best of the pies.
You're the goat of pies.
Wow.
The goat of I just heard about goats this day. Yeah.
You're the goat of pies.
Yeah.
So this is the state fair in Harrington?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what kind of pies?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so there was cherry, blueberry, peach, pecan, lemon, a savory pie,
You had me at
Tell them
share.
what.
blueberry. Did I say blueberry?
Yeah.
Apple, and then there's a pie of choice, and then usually just a baked pie shell, so they can like.
Tell
check
us
out your
about your like weird pies.
But it's not just like a blueberry pie.
Like
That's what
good
I'm
weird,
thinking. I
yeah,
know it's
because
like
the way you're
there's no
saying
way.
this, no, that's not
Well,
really
so those
what
are the
they were.
categories. So
no.
those are like the categories you have to enter.
So tell us
like,
about your pies.
So, like what I did this year, like I just did like a straight up apple pie. I was like, I'm going basic this year for that. But I did the one that got best of overall was a lemon lace pie, which was just a lemon curd pie. It was just like an average pie, but then I made like a lace to go, like a candy lace to go on top.
What's a lace?
Like
a design?
Like a design.
Gotcha.
Like
Okay.
almost like a fondant kind of thing on top. And
Cool.
then I did a chocolate pecan pie.
God, it's so good.
And
Talk about the savory pie.
The savory. Oh, I did. Yeah, like a crab boil pie. So I had like crab
That's what I'm saying.
boil.
It's crazy.
Crab boil pie.
But that only came in third.
So good.
That came in third.
Well,
Did you
people
get
just aren't
lost?
ready for it yet.
I
They're
know.
not.
That's
Not
just
ready.
dumb. It should have won best.
Last question about the pies for buy-in. Like, what do you think your special touch is that makes your pies win so much?
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly,
Okay.
I think about them a lot. I'm not saying that nobody else like thinks about what they're making. I mean, my crust is really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe just like that extra special touch, like with the lace on top of
She
it.
does it with love.
The
love
final
it. Love.
touches. Like every pie
Include
is
love.
gorgeous.
Okay.
They're so
Gorgeous.
good.
If she is, by now, if you would just open a pie shop
Yeah.
and get going on Instagram, like your pies are
We
going to
do
be
have
sold out.
Instagram. I'm that pie
But I mean,
girl.
like,
But,
really, like, you're-
really.
like,
You're like,
just do
you
it.
would step up your game. on
No, I don't
Instagram.
mean it like that. I mean, like, just do it. Come on, baby. Those pies are going to get out there and.
Keep your eyes on the pies.
And-
See what I did there? You see what I did there?
All I'm saying is if you were to open a shop, the Grand would be looking for a marketing person in
So
a
if
few
anyone
months.
would like to give me like millions of dollars,
So
I will
is,
go ahead.
Do you
with
need
it.
millions of
Don't we need a
open
pie
up a
shop?
pie shop?
Need a
Doesn't
pie shop
everyone
in
need
Wilmington?
millions?
Okay, if anyone's giving out millions of dollars, I'll take some too.
so is this purely amateur right now, or
Yeah.
are you also selling some on the side if somebody wants some pies?
Anything like requests?
Okay.
Yeah, like to friends and family.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't tell
I'm
me.
friend.
Yeah. You can have a birthday pie.
If you want to be really cool at your next party, just order a couple of her pies.
He's going to get a flood of emails to the address. Like, great on the shows, but I want pies, right?
10,000 pies.
We need X amount of pies. Now.
What are
Well,
like
like,
the
I
most
mean,
pies
we're
you've
at
ever made?
UDAiry, and like you're across the street from the Grand, so it's like friends and family.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
You
What
can
are
probably
the
put those
most
two
amount of
together.
pies
too.
you made?
I'll bring
Pies
you a
have
couple
made at one
scoops. I'll bring you a couple pies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ice cream and pie.
Ice cream and pie.
Right.
It's the perfect.
Pie a la mode. And look at you
We
guys.
could definitely network.
You're matching and everything.
The most amount of pie
Yes.
would have been like, I think Thanksgiving, I did like 50 pies.
Oh,
And I
50
live in the
pies?
city, so I have like a city kitchen. So
Wow.
that was
That's
a lot of
impressive.
pie to keep in my kitchen.
I don't know how you did it.
Well, as
I don't
they
know
say,
either.
the
My
pies are
husband,
women.
you know, I don't know that he appreciates it entirely because the fridge gets completely taken over.
Like, oh, it's time for a second fridge.
Yeah.
Right.
There really isn't another option.
That fridge
And the other
specifically
fridge.
just for pies.
Just for pie.
Just
Just
for
for pie.
pie.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law in Pittsburgh demands one of Amy's pies for Thanksgiving every year. Like she even
Maybe we
messages
can-
Amy and says, "Are you getting a pie to give to Michelle?"
Can
today?"
we move her pie fridge into your house and put it right next to the beer fridge? Sure. I'm thinking this is a perfect pairing.
The whole party,
Pie
beer and
fridge,
pies.
wine.
You know
Maybe
what
we
I mean?
should get a freezer, throw some UDAiry next to
a
it.
beer, ice cream pairing,
Yes.
pie
There we
pairing
go.
party.
This is gonna be your first in the
session
mix
I've ever had.
event. We're doing a beer
getting-
ice
My
cream pie
house and
pairing.
all the fridges.
Made and ready.
You're gonna help me plan this? We're gonna plan this. It's gonna be great.
All in one session.
Everybody come over.
So let's make the transition then to beer because you want to talk about beer today.
I do want to talk
It's a
about beer.
food day.
It almost
And
And we have no pie or beer.
Do you have pie there?
I don't know. Can we get some pie there? So we have our big fundraiser coming up at the zoo on September 27th. It's Brew at the Zoo. It's our 8th annual this year, which
That's
is
like the best
crazy.
name for an event.
It's so
I
much
love
fun.
that event.
Yeah, we've tried a couple other ones. My wife has suggested we do Vindaloo at the zoo as a like Indian
yeah.
food theme one, but I haven't quite pulled that one off yet.
Vindaloo at the zoo.
But that's just speculative. Please don't actually contact us for that.
You should do it in addition to brew at
Yes,
the zoo,
no, 'cause
as
we
long as it wouldn't be in lieu of.
We've got
at the
brew,
zoo.
we've got
Yeah.
boo. Yeah. We've talked about a Valentine's Day woo at the zoo. Yeah, I know.
There's so many things.
It's just
There's
we
so
like
many
rhyming.
oohs at the zoos you can do.
Exactly. If it's,
They do boo at the zoo,
yeah,
so they're.
we want to be either alliterative
You just don't
or
want to
rhyming.
poo at the zoo.
So pretty much. We do have that too. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago,
What
and it was
happened?
about all different kinds of animal poo. Like
Oh.
wombats have cube-shaped poo.
Okay.
It's the
I
weirdest
feel
thing
like
I've
that's
ever seen. Yeah.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
How would
coming
that
out.
work?
I
Yeah, I
think
have
this
a lot
is
of
pretty dry.
questions.
Yeah.
I don't
I just went.
it's safe.
It's like ice cube trays. Yeah.
And in the mix first, we are talking about
Espresso
poo.
ice cream
at the
coming out
zoo.
of a
But yeah, so Brew is our big event.
I'm sorry, I was still on
know.
Brew.
No one cares about your beer right now. We're going to talk about square poop. Okay?
Going back to the booth.
Tell us more about the poo, Mike.
What kinds of shapes are there?
Well, I mean, it just depends on the animal.
All right, okay.
Size, shape, all vary depending on what you eat, and what's your diet.
What's the most poo? No, I'm just kidding.
Probably elephants or like whales or something like that would be the most poo. Just
I meant
size.
at the
At the
zoo.
zoo.
Oh.
At the zoo.
I know. I didn't
No.
think about.
Alpacas probably be the biggest. The most, probably are quantity-wise, probably the most poo.
Good. Good to know, everybody.
Yes.
But we're not talking about poo anymore. We're
Okay,
talking about
back to Brew.
Really good.
Brew.
Suddenly,
I'm done. All right, go ahead.
no more poo. Only brew.
What would you like to know?
What kind of beer?
There we go.
Yeah. Beer. So we have a bunch of breweries that come and set up. Belafonte is one of our sponsors, and they're wonderful to us, and they'll be there. We'll have Fordham and Dominion. We'll have Trogs, Spillion. I don't know about Victory.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. That's all right. I'm trying to remember them
I'm
all
sorry,
off the top
go
of my
ahead.
head, and
Keep
I'm
going.
only so good. And then we also have a bunch of restaurants coming. So we've got Kitchelines and Chelsea Tavern.
Nice.
And a couple other ones that I'm not remembering off the top of
Is
my
it
head.
in all ages?
No.
Oh, okay.
So you got to be 21 or older to come in.
No, you
Yes.
can go.
September 27th, so you'll be fine.
December 7th.
Yeah, you got
So
20
you'll be
days to
there.
be
You're
21 to be
perfect.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Nice.
But yeah, you can't bring the kids with you. You can't bring them in their strollers. It's adults only. But we do have, we've got the restaurants, we've got the breweries. We have just a great night. We've got the animals,
I'm
of
just
course,
saying,
are there.
you've got cages there. You could just put all the kids in the one.
Somebody's gonna watch
Oh, wait,
them.
that's
though. That's all the
Wombat.
problem.
They'll be fascinated by the
We
square
don't actually
footage.
have any wombats. I just think that's a cool story.
Okay.
And then we've got, Feng Lu, if anybody knows him, who has the birds that he flies around, so he'll come up for
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
He's so cool, so you have to make sure you see that. And then, we have our silent auction and maybe some music and some other things going on, and it's just a great fun night. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Awesome.
And yeah, love to
When
see
is
everybody
it?
out there.
September
27th. You can check out our website, brandyonezoo.org. I know that one. And tickets are.
Shots fired.
Uh,
You're going to get a terrible pie one day. With some of those, you're going to get some cubes in those pies, right?
I've seen the help. I know to watch out on the pie.
That's not.
Made you a wombat pie.
Espresso ice cube pie.
Right.
Tickets are available online at our website. $4 for members, $50 for non-members, $25 for designated drivers. It usually does sell out, so make sure you get your tickets.
It
ahead of time.
always sells out,
does.
Pretty
doesn't
much,
it?
yeah. As long as it doesn't pour 2 days before.
I didn't volunteer last year, but prior to that, a couple years in a row. Always regret volunteering because I'm like, I want to be on the other side of
You wanna
this
be
right now.
brewing?
But it gets packed, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I mean, wonderful attendance.
It's an awesome event. It's just probably, it's a
It's fun.
challenging event for us because it's just we're going in all these directions. But for people that come, I think they have just the best time.
Oh, and
fun.
big,
And I
big
love it.
kudos to the volunteer team that you guys put together too. It's amazing.
Yeah, staff
to-
or volunteers, all the vendors are just everybody's so wonderful. to deal
Everything
with.
runs flawlessly, and it's.
That's Jen
it's a
from my
great-
team. She really is the person in charge of that. That's why she knows all the details much better sometimes than I do.
Nice.
I just shake the hands and kiss the babies.
If you do have tickets to Brew at the Zoo, come early because you want to get through all of the tastings, and it can be difficult if you
And get your parking. and,
dilly-dally
yeah.
and make a fashionably late appearance. I know. I remember people being salty last year because they decided to come an hour and a half in. And
What?
Who does that?
couldn't-
I know.
didn't have time to make their
That's
way
not
through
even
things. It's like-
fashionably
Show up
late.
on time.
I know.
Right.
I know.
If you're going to an event, show up on time.
And we have our silent auction for that is available to people that don't even go. So if you go to our website, you can go to the link for it and you can bid on things. So we've got
Right now?
the old
My
tiger signs that used to be around the city that were sort of signs about the zoo or parking. We have a couple of those. We've got encounter with our capybara. We've got a bunch of other just kind of really cool things.
He is my
Can I hug an otter?
Well, we don't have the otters anymore.
What?
You missed a memo.
I was just there last
It was a
It was-
recent development.
Yeah, it was the end of last year. Yeah, we had one of them passed away, and the other one went to Yellowstone's, the Wolf and Grizzly Center, which is they opened a brand new multi-million-dollar exhibit. And so we converted that exhibit into a new contact area and moved all the goats over there and got 3 more types of goats. So it's just this super cool, I know.
In your opinion, like, what is the coolest animal right now to go see at the zoo?
I mean, the red pandas are probably our most
red
popular.
pandas?
I mean, it is a this size of cuteness with a huge fuzzy tail.
Okay.
And actually, we're celebrating them on September 21st. Is actually Red Panda Day, and we have a breakfast for 60 or so people, and you can come and have breakfast next to the red pandas while
I've
they're
done
having
that.
their
The
breakfast.
breakfast at the zoo is
done.
so
It's
fun.
on my
Such a
schedule.
fun
Red
Yeah,
pandas.
it's
Yes,
so much
red
fun.
pandas.
They're the cutest thing.
Are they red? Like they have a red
They're
pin?
reddish.
Rusty?
Yeah,
They're like
like
rusty.
a rusty
Red
color.
pandas are like
Sienna
they're from
color.
Japan. Right?
China.
China,
Nepal.
pandas.
Yeah, yeah. So they're-
That's what intrigues me.
They're sort of related to raccoons. They're not actually related to pandas, giant pandas, which are bears.
Oh.
But they come from mostly China, although a little bit in India and Nepal, and they eat primarily bamboo like the other black and white pandas that people always think of.
Cool.
But yeah, so yeah, we have a new male and female that joined us last year. He came from the Smithsonian, and she came from Iowa.
From Iowa.
Yeah, she's at the zoo in Des Moines. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They love selfies. It's my favorite selfie station at the zoo because they're always just like chilling in the back.
Are they?
They're also
Hanging out.
like
Yeah,
the
you put me
best
in a picture.
loungers you've ever seen because they basically just sort of lie on a log with legs down on either side and just like
Sleep
man, it's
anywhere.
all
Oh, that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
All
Yeah.
right, the red panda will replace my love for otters, I suppose, when I go.
Well, if you want to come over, I'll
think they will.
introduce you to them.
The red
So,
pandas have
yeah.
names?
Yes. So Sherman is the male.
Sherman.
And he's got these great dark stripes, so
Like
he's
white
actually really
Sherman.
easy to spot.
Okay.
And then Mohu is the female.
Sherman and Mohu.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
They're really cool names. I know that we have to head to break real quickly, but you've got some big changes coming up at the zoo.
Yeah. So we've had some smaller changes this year, which have been great, including the new goat exhibit. But we're going to break ground in November, hopefully, on our brand new, first big new exhibit that's been a really long time. It's going to be a Madagascar-themed exhibit. It's going to have probably a couple of species of lemurs and radiated tortoises. It's going to be where the llamas used to be, historically have been. So we're hoping that'll break ground this fall, and we'll open up spring, hopefully not early summer next year, depending on how long it takes to do construction. And it's awesome. And then we've got that project, another project coming after that, and then we're going to start rolling out a capital campaign to start raising money to kind of rebuild the entire zoo. So it's really exciting time.
Very exciting stuff. I love it.
Lemurs, red pandas.
All right, well, we have to take a quick break. Our news anchor called out, and unfortunately,
Again.
I'm gonna have to again.
Fire this
I
news
really
anchor.
am
Why
gonna
did he
consider
stop
firing
John?
this person, but I think one of you is gonna make a fantastic replacement. We'll duke it out on the break, figure out
Duking it
who
out.
it is.
It's
We'll be right back with the news
WrestleMania.
right after this.
The Unleash Within Photo Challenge finalist exhibition is Friday, September 6th during Art on the Town at the Delaware Contemporary. The top 24 images from this year's In Wilmington Instagram contest will be displayed, and attendees will have the opportunity to vote for their favorite. The images will be on display through Sunday, September 8th.
Jekyll and Hyde the musical invades Wilmington Drama League September 6th through the 15th. The Tony Award-winning tale tells of two characters, good and evil, who are in fact the same person. Expect a bloody good time.
Brandywine Festival of the Arts takes over the Josephine Gardens at the Brandywine Park in Wilmington September 7th and 8th. $5 admission gets you in both days, featuring live music, food vendors, and the works of 250 artists.
Brandywine Valley Restaurant Week kicks off Monday, September 9th, continuing through Saturday, September 14th, offering incredible upscale pre-fee dining experiences at 17 premier area restaurants in northern Delaware and southern Chester County, many of which are anchored right here in Wilmington.
Fairy Fest returns to Rockwood Park on September 15th, but fairy wear is just a suggestion. Pirates, gnomes, princesses, superheroes, and whimsical characters of all kinds are invited to this free family event featuring games, stories, and enchanted crafts, plus tours of the Rockwood Museum.
But if you prefer to increase your chances of running into a classic Zimmer Golden Spirit instead of a woodland spirit,
But of course.
okay, you may want to head to the Hagley Car Show on September 15th instead. Hundreds of cars from the 1800s all the way to the 1990s. This year's theme, Rolling Elegance Luxury Automobiles, is sure to make you want to upgrade your wheels.
Vroom, vroom. Our top family pick this month comes from the Delaware Contemporary, where the West Street Family Art Festival is on September 22nd.
I don't even think I put that one in.
Oh, really? Good job.
They've partnered with the Delaware Theater Company and Delaware Children's Museum to bring you a day of free family fun, including screen printing demos from Space Boy, who also provided my shirt today. Thank you very much. Chalk Walk Project to DCM, spoken word, live music, mask making, food trucks, and so much more.
And finally, we wrap up the month with 2 great events on September 28th. The Taste of Trolley Square, which showcases one of millions of people, showcases one of Wilmington's most eclectic neighborhoods with family-friendly activities and opportunity to sample the area's hippest eateries. Across town, downtown, the Soul of the City Block Party, brought to us by the Christina Cultural Arts Center and Episcopal Church of Saints Andrew and Matthew, offers crafts, vendors, games, live music from CCAC faculty and alum, plus other regional acts, all for free. And I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more of that very shortly.
Of course, this is all just a small taste of what there is to do in Wilmington. For more, check out inwilmington.com. For In the Mix. Oh, no. Can I cut that and redo that? Of course, this is just a small taste of what there is to do in Wilmington. For more, check out inwilmde.com. For In the Mix, I'm Mike Allen.
And I'm Amy Bish.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that news update. You guys were absolutely fantastic. I don't know what we would do without
Mask-making food trucks.
mask-making food trucks.
That's a new thing.
You just nibble them.
Making, comma, food trucks.
Okay.
But I think you might be onto a new business venture now.
I need one more thing to do.
Maybe it can be an ice cream truck.
A mask-making ice cream truck.
And that will be our segue to Christian.
Christian and I have been trying to get together and look for something to do. There we go. That's it.
So let's talk about ice cream because, you know, clearly we've brought that up a lot. You work at UDAiry. You didn't bring any, but Amy didn't bring any pies.
In my defense, I just got back home
That's
from Virginia.
true. That's
so,
What's your excuse?
yeah.
I woke up. Wednesday.
And you've put together some really cool events at UDAiry.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so over the past, in October to be about 2 years, I've hosted a plethora of open mics, at least once every month. And we've had just plethora of people come out, from spoken word artists, musical artists. We've had a guitar player come out before. We've had a duet of there was a drummer and a singer come out. Solo performing artists, singers again. And just many people out in the community in Wilmington, just come out and share their talents and, spread culture within the store and amongst themselves, really. It's, really, it's free. It's for the community, obviously. And I try to do it as much as I can within the time that I have. So it's great.
You are a busy guy.
I am, yeah. I'm pretty busy.
It's been hard to get you here on this show because you're a busy guy.
Yeah. This is the second time I tried to get on here, and now I'm here. So it's great.
You're here. This is great.
So, what made you decide that you want to put together an open mic in that space? What was the thought?
Well, I got to give all the credit really to my manager, Leanne, my boss. She was the one who came forward with the idea back in 2017. And when I first started working there, she said, hey, she knew about my poetry and stuff. I've been into poetry since I was in the 9th or 10th grade. And she knew about sort of my poetry skills. We had a poetry contest the same time UDAiry opened up back in 2017 in May. And I applied for a job there, and I also applied for the competition. So it was a win-win situation. And I won first prize, won first place, and I got the job. So win-win.
Right.
A couple months later, she asked me about doing an open mic in October of that same year. It happened to be Poetry Day, I believe. And she said, hey, do you want to do an open mic? And I was like, yeah, sure. It's the first time I ever did it. And the only thing she gave me was a microphone, but that was the first thing, that kind of it just expanded from there, a microphone, and I got speakers and a sound system, and I started getting all this equipment together. I started investing in all that, and it just got bigger and better and more quality, and it just skyrocketed. And ever since then, the first one was very humble. It was I think it wasn't the first time I ever spoke out into a crowd of people before, Like I performed in front of like a student body of 500 kids before, back in high school, but just a gathering of like 30 people, and then that transitioning to like 40, 50, 60 over time. Like
That's a lot of people in that space.
I was going to say, that's a lot of people, yeah.
And you do some outdoors as well, too, right? You move them outside occasionally?
Yeah, so recently we've got permission from BPG to do the open mics, Sweet Jams, by the way, that's what they're called, the Sweet Jams open mics, outside at the little pavilion that's next door to Chelsea's Tavern. So we had it back in July. That was the first time we did it. We're going to do it again August 24th. August 24th? Yeah, August 24th. And, we're going to be outside. The first time we did it, it was really impactful. A lot of people started coming out. We had a guest artist that came from Baltimore, and he did this whole 15-minute, he did his time for 15 minutes. And, I pay some of the artists that come out to, if they're special guests, straight from my pockets. But, that's essentially them bringing value into the store or into the place. And I believe that they should be compensated for that because.
Hey, UDAiry, let's work on that budget. We got to pay these artists.
So it's a little tricky, being a nonprofit. There's some gray areas, and I try to like fit in some of that as much as I can. Try to be the wedge in between that. But I believe in paying artists, and because they bring value to the space. So if they want to be a part of the show and to give a little 15 to 30 minute piece, say, hey, you got some poetry, you got some music you want to perform for about 30 minutes of the time, I'll definitely pay you for that. And
Jay, what do you think about paying artists?
Yeah.
I think that look right in the eye was like,
How do you feel about this?
I feel that I agree with you, and I feel that we can't function properly without it. And it's like you said, we provide value.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I saw a quote yesterday that it said something to the extent of, very much paraphrasing, like cool cities are based around culture and like thoughtful people or something like that. It was just those two basic
I think I remember
pillars.
seeing that too, actually.
Yeah, and it was just like, everyone loves us, but put your money where your mouth is. And I'll leave it at that.
I've had these conversations before where artists have come to me and we've talked about value and compensation and where that line is met. With people who want to bring out people to perform at a specific event and they don't end up on that offer. So, that conversation has to be had at some point. But then going back to my other open mics, I'm also partnered with the Wilmington Renaissance Corporation, now Wilmington Alliance, which they just renamed themselves as, at the Rock Lot space over on 8th Street. Yes.
It's winding down for the season, but do you have dates in September?
We are in the process of talking about dates.
Good.
I came up with an idea called Hoodie Hymns.
I like it.
You come out in the fall, put out a hoodie. We have
love it.
the lights are out and stuff, and we just go out and we just do like another open mic.
That would be a really great bonfire space too. I'm just gonna throw that out there to the universe and see what
I
happens.
love that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Can you have bonfires in the city?
Why not?
Sure.
It's a hush knock on the back door. sort of thing.
Like a little fake fireplace and get like
there you go.
a little
Get one of
heat
those
lamp,
pin,
you know?
yeah.
Just glows, not
Right.
really fire, just kind of.
Some glow logs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Glow logs.
Are you from Delaware? Or
No, I'm actually, my mother is more so from Delaware than I am, but I'm from the DC, Maryland area.
Okay.
Grew up there for most of my life. Moved up here when I was 16, right before my senior year of high school started. And, been here for about 4 years now. So ever since then.
Wow.
yeah.
what do you see, describe the cultural differences between where you're coming from? Like, what do you see? Like, if you went to an open mic in DC versus up here, like,
Right.
what's the difference, if there's any?
Like DC, like they have the busboy poets. They have a lot going on. Like everything's open at night. There's a lot of musical scenes, a lot of poetry scenes you can go to, or just places in general that are just open late at night. Places where families can go. Maybe if you're just a 20-year-old single person on the road or just whatever, just trying to find somewhere to go for the night. Whatever demographic you are, there's a lot that caters to those demographics. Whereas Wilmington, it's kind of struggling to kind of chug that forward. I see there's an uprise. It's kind of dormant right now, but there is an uprise in the musics and the arts. Getting that scene forward. I've seen First Day Jam sessions before. Been to a couple of their shows. Richard Raw, for instance, hosts a lot of shows. A lot of times you have a lot of shows. A lot of times I know the Grand does a lot.
I feel like UDAiry's doing a lot too. You guys stay open later
We
than
do.
a lot of other places, which I love.
I mean, it's so like the ice cream shop stays open late for
Later than the
for
coffee place.
you know, for culture. That's such a unique thing.
I
Like,
love that.
You wouldn't think about that.
That's true. We do, and I like how we're open in the scene. We want to reach out to the community. We are open later in hours, and we've connected with people like the Grand. We've connected with the Wilmington Renaissance Corporation. Me being sort of the community engagement intern is what like my kind of title is. You know, I go out to these places and say, hey, we want to collaborate.
I love it. It's this beautiful grassroots coming up, you know, bigger arts organizations coming down, everybody meeting in the middle, working together. It's a nice thing.
Yes.
All right,
It's
I'm getting
nice.
I'm getting the signal over here.
We're not
that it's-
done yet.
It's time to wrap up, people. We are not done yet.
We have more things to say.
I need to quickly run down some really cool events that are happening this month because I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't do so.
Ready? Go.
Viva Mexico Fest. It is kind of taking place of Cinco de Mayo. You remember the huge Cinco de Mayo bash that happened on Market Street? Well, it is September 15th. It's very similar to the Cinco event. So they're going to have, you know, live dancers, bands. I think it's a margarita bar, some other kind of
You had me at
bar.
margarita.
Lots of street bars.
Hold it back.
Tons of street food, tacos, I'm gonna mispronounce it. The corn.
The corn.
The grill.
Elote?
Yes. So good.
The what?
So good.
Elote? Is that how you say it? I don't know.
In Wilmington, we'll be there. There'll be other vendors there. It'll be a great time.
Okay.
So don't miss that. There's a great month for theater. Jekyll and Hyde, the musical you mentioned earlier for us, Amy. The Hound of the Baskervilles is going to be at Delaware Theater Company. Sorry, Jekyll and Hyde's at Wilmington Drama League. September 6th through the 15th. The Hound of the Baskervilles at Delaware Theater Company. September 11th through the 29th. Catch me if you can. September 14th through October 20th at Candlelight Theater. We've just got like so much stuff
There's
going on.
nothing going
That's
on.
fantastic.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
Peace Week Delaware, September 21st through 29th. There's a ton of, it's another great example of tons of grassroots community events that came together for one big, awesome week of promoting peace. I'm totally spitting on you in the process of all of this.
Nice.
You're thinking about right.
Oy vey. And the
Melanie?
Queen. Oh, yes. Melanie is playing September
22nd.
22nd. And that is a special up close and personal edition with your harpsichord.
Not my
Not your harpsichord.
Not my harpsichord.
Melani's harpsichord.
Yes,
And
it's really a beautiful instrument. It's been recently refurbished, so it's very pretty. You can actually come up and touch it and take a look at it and play on it. She'll let you do that afterwards.
really? Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, she'll let you do that. If you're very, you know, don't go and bang on it. or
Yeah,
anything, but
You're not
camera
an
on the
a-hole.
piano, but
Yeah, but it's a cool, it's a little intimate concert, and she talks about the pieces that she plays and you know why they're good for harpsichord, and it's an interesting introduction
really
if you've
cool.
never seen a harpsichord up close. It's kind of a cool thing.
there's so much stuff, guys. Korean Festival, September 21st at the Art Museum. DSO's kicking off their 114th season at the Grand, September 27th. They have this killer violinist. She's got Kentucky roots, so she's really like a fiddler at heart. So to have her tackle classical music is going to be amazing. There's just so much stuff. We obviously don't have time for it all. That's why you can check out inwilmde.com. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I had a blast. I hope you did. I think you did.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! We've been laughing a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
At all.
All right.
Peace,
we're out.
pies, poo.
That's 3 keys for the day.
Peace.